Hello, Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator podcast. I'm your host, Dana, and today we are talking about Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episodes 7 to 9. Joining me today, you know him, you love him. He's Rupert Thee Baxter, who has the most hilarious content on TikTok and Instagram, talking all the reality TV things, especially Married at First Sight. So we had the best chat today, talking through all of the insane couples on Married at First Sight. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Until next time, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. Join the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget that I have a whole other podcast called All You Need Is You. It is a podcast about living your best solo life. You can find the podcast in the show notes for this podcast. I also release the episodes on this podcast feed, but you can go into Apple and Spotify and type in All You Need Is You. Follow the show, download the show, listen to the show, enjoy the show. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. I love you, BBs, and I'll see you next time. Rupert Thee Baxter, welcome back to the Bravo Investigator podcast.
Thank you for having me back. I'm excited to shoot the shit.
Oh, me too. Rupert, the last time you were here, we were talking Summer House. It was right at the moment that the whiteboard dropped that Wes Wilson
Yes.
did with Soho Brody. And I was like, thank God Rupert is coming on in like 10 minutes so that we can break this down. People loved your takes. And then I saw you talking all the shit about Married at First Sight on Instagram. And I was like, okay, I have to get him on. And you were also at the Peacock premiere party with Lindsay
Yes.
Hubbard and everything. So that was really cool. What was it like talking to Lindsay?
I mean, it's so funny. Lindsay and I have like always had like a very like positive banter like in the DMs and on the socials. So it was very nice to meet her. And we actually kind of were like giving like gay husband, straight wife because she was in white, I was in black, and I was just like, "Hey girl, like if this doesn't work out, we could do a lavender marriage." Even though I am engaged, like, but he
Wait,
likes Lindsay
are you
too.
going to be Gemma's dad?
I will be Gemma's stepdad, her gay, blonde, black stepdad.
She needs that, you know?
Who
Doesn't
doesn't?
everyone? Doesn't every
Who
little
doesn't?
girl?
Exactly. Like I will
Yeah,
teach her the ways of the Yas and the queenery of it all, and she'll grow up to just be an even more well-rounded woman.
absolutely. Okay, well, Rupert, let's get right into it. We are
Let's
talking
get into
episode
it.
7 to 9 today of Married at First Sight. I am an A1 day one Married at First Sight person, so this season has been fun for me because it is so different from all of the other
So
seasons, but
different.
I've really been
So
enjoying
different.
it, even though, like, I feel bad for the couples. Like, obviously, nobody was matched on any actual criteria. This was completely for our entertainment. And I'm okay with that, right? Like, are you enjoying the
Completely.
season so far?
Oh, I am just like you, like day one, like married at first
You
sight
are.
when it
Okay,
was
so
on.
Jamie and Doug days.
Like whenever it was like whatever network it was on. But like I was very happy when it was brought over to Peacock because I feel like they just get right to it. There's not like all this like bullshittery and like lag and just like fluff. It's like we're getting into the drama and we're making great entertainment. And you know what? I'm entertained.
Well, I'm gonna say yes and no because last year they went to Peacock and I didn't like the way they did it. They dropped six
Really?
episodes and then they did like two a week for another few weeks. So it only ended up being 12 total.
Yeah,
Like I was used to like 50 episodes of Married at First Sight and then going to
literally.
12. And then so it wasn't enough of a balance for me because I felt like I didn't get to know these characters well enough to be able to
Yeah.
get invested. This season is the perfect drop. Like do it three at a time. There's more episodes.
Yeah,
We
there
get to
are
know
more
the people
episodes.
more time with their families. So I feel like they learned a little bit from last season and did
Yeah.
something a little bit more in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I definitely like the fact that it isn't 50 episodes. Just me
Yeah.
personally, because the episodes were so long, and I felt like it'd be like 3 episodes, and we still haven't had a marriage or like
You
a
still haven't gotten
wedding.
to the altar yet. It's
Exactly. It's
like,
like we're still. It's like, oh my gosh! Like I've been watching this episode for 3.5 hours, and there's literally
right.
nothing that has happened. So
Right.
I definitely get the like pacing of it all. I'm anti like dropping everything all at once. So like
Yeah.
I love that they're doing these smaller blocks of episodes. So again, to your point, it keeps the conversation going. It gives us
Yes.
time to like sit with our thoughts because there's a lot of thoughts,
Right.
and just like time to actually like build that narrative around these couples versus it kind of being like. here are all the episodes, watch at your own leisure and like good luck. And it's just like,
Right.
no, like let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah. Okay, so this drop of episodes was interesting. We got a group dinner where the experts were watching kind of like as a secret. It
Yeah,
didn't seem like the cast was aware. And then we had some like sporadic like dates and family time and stuff with the couples. And then we had group therapy with the experts and all of the couples, right?
yeah.
So we'll sort of talk about each couple by couple and what all of those things entailed. And if it's okay with you, can we start with Tori and Felipe?
Yes, let's go with Tori and
Okay,
Felipe.
Tori and Felipe. So we left off where they had been intimate, and it
Hmm.
was really difficult for Tori. She felt like it had been too soon for her. She
Yeah,
went and slept on the couch. She talks about this at the group dinner, and I was very curious to hear what Felipe's response was to this because I was hoping he was going to be supportive and understanding and all the things. And he
exactly.
was. He was like, you know, I've never been through something like this before, but he was appreciative and understanding. And as a woman, you know, I understood where she was coming from. I feel like,
Exactly.
especially in this expedited process, as a woman, sometimes you need to feel like you trust someone and it feels safe. And
Yeah,
there can literally, to me, you cannot be more exposed than when you are naked, right? So
yeah.
it is like such a mind fuck. And I totally understand that, but I feel like she either goes to therapy or she knows herself really well, but I feel like she like handled it really well.
Yeah, no, I think she definitely handled it well. I think like when seeing that scene, I was just like, oh my gosh, like because I know she had spoke about like in previous episodes like how, that part of, her life she's likes to take it slow and really wants to be comfortable. So I was excited when it happened because like, oh my gosh, like they're really like breaking down the walls and she's feeling comfortable. And then they immediately cut to the scene of her going to the bed, I mean the couch. And I was like, oh no, like I hope this doesn't like set them back because like of the couples, like they're one of the few that I'm actually rooting for.
Right, me too.
Yeah, but and like because even like on the jump, I was like, I don't know if Felipe is in it for the right reasons, but he seems to be like in it for the right reasons, and they seem to be able to have this very healthy dialogue and like at the end of the day, like a lot of men can suck, and so just seeing how mature he's been in the situation versus kind of being like some of the men who just make everything a joke.
Yeah, we'll get to
I
that.
really I really appreciate how he was able to kind of like reassure her and like not make it about himself, even though
Right.
like I'm sure that part of he did feel some type of way because it's like I put her in this position, like I enjoyed it, but then like she didn't enjoy it, and then so it's kind of like how does this shape our relationship going forward and her being comfortable with me, and like I think a lot of people would probably also shut down like if they were the man in that situation because it's like almost kind of knocking at their
Rejection,
ego.
in a
Yeah.
way.
Rejection and like knocking at their ego. And,
Yeah.
I think that like he really handled it, from my perspective, pretty well.
Yeah. And my biggest issue with them or my biggest worry for him is, he talks about wanting all of this stuff, but he also
Yeah.
hasn't had it in a long time. And
Hmm.
I wonder his capacity to it, right? Which I think is what he's starting to realize because
Yeah.
he's like, can I be monogamous? He's like sort of asking his dad that, where he's like,
Yeah.
I gotta work at this every day. And he even says in the expert group chat or whatever you call it, the group therapy, he says
Group
like,
therapy.
I realized I need to commit every day. Now that's like a good thing. You usually hear
Yeah.
people say that in like a vow renewal, right? Like I commit to you every
Every
single
day.
day, right? And that's like a good thing. But I'm worried that this whole idea in his head of like passion and the dying of passion is going to be to his detriment. I think the
Hmm.
experts did a good job trying to explain to him, like, okay, try not to think of it as like the passion is going to die out. Try to think of it as like you're always going to be curious about Tori. You always want to learn more about her. And so think of it
Yeah.
as like a new adventure every day in that sense. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah, because they brought up the concept of like the butterflies and being like, oh, like if the butterflies aren't there anymore, like that's just your body like regulating to like this very expedited like process. And
Yeah.
I think so many people in relationships they do think it's like, oh, the butterflies are gone. It's just like, no, you just like have gotten comfortable and like you've been around this person, so like your body has regulated to it. And so I think shout out to the experts, like I'm learning things about myself just like
Right?
watching them like talk to all the couples. So like they did their big one with these experts because they don't hold back and they really are able to like call people out on their BS, but also interpret everything that they're saying in like a positive way to
Yeah.
kind of be like, this is what you're saying, but like what you really mean is this, and like everyone needs to hear this because I'm sure you're all thinking the same things, even though you're not maybe saying it like out loud.
Except for Tori and Felipe, though, I'm curious your opinion. I kind of felt like not necessarily that the experts were being harsh with the couples at group therapy, but I feel like the couples took it that way. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like if I would have gone home and cried if I were most of those couples.
Oh,
I don't know. It felt like,
yes.
yeah, I don't know. It just felt like I understand the point of it, and this is supposed to be hard, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it is sort of like cracking into who you are and
Oh,
questioning it and being like,
completely.
be different, you know?
Yeah. In front of a group of people that
Yeah,
you really don't
and
know. Like
nationally, and
someone you're married to that you barely know, and also this group of people that you also barely know, but you're just going through this kind of like traumatizing experience together. So it's like be vulnerable with all of us. And oh,
yeah,
by the way, there's a bunch of cameras around.
right. But like Tori and Felipe, whatever work they've done on themselves in the past, I'm just really impressed because again, like I really thought he was going to be a party boy, the whole like him showing up
Same.
late to all the meetings at the beginning, but he's taking this seriously, right?
Yeah.
And I want to move on to Marissa and Adam because I feel like the experts thought that Felipe was going to be more of who Adam
Adam
became
is.
throughout this
Ugh.
process, right? Because we don't have a ton to talk about with Marissa and Adam because they are so light and fluffy because they haven't
Yep.
had the deep conversations. It's
Yep.
all vibes. And the funniest part of like this drop of episodes is the fact that he keeps showing up to these events in like these like tropical
Ri-
outfits, like he's going on vacation with the
Ridiculous.
tag on it.
Yes. Like,
And so the experts
ah.
are like, you're not taking this seriously. What did you think about that?
I was so glad when they called him out because even like just watching it, like I think the experts called it like peacocking. Like he is
Peacocking on
compared to
Peacock.
yeah, compared to how he was in the beginning, like he was so serious
Yeah,
and very much kind of like rigid, like I here are the things I need. It's a complete 180 and it's so not authentic like
right.
to who I think he is. I think this man does not want to show his vulnerability. He does
Mm.
not want to get into the real shit. He does not want to actually talk about things. And like I can tell that it's making Marissa uncomfortable, but she's not being brave enough to actually say that's what she needs.
Okay, you think so?
I think so because I think
Okay.
she had
I thought she
alluded
was just like
to
going with the flow. I couldn't really tell.
well, I forget who she was. Maybe it was Cameron that she was referring to, but she was like, "Oh,
Yes,
like I wish that Adam
it's a little more
had
mature.
that maturity that Cameron has." And I think like that was for me, that was the first sign where I was like, "Oh, she's actually not enjoying this as much as she is." Because like, yes, if you want to have fun with your partner, yes, you want to be able to like laugh and have a good time and like send it and like vibes, but like also like you want to get to know them on a deeper level. You want to be able to like have those hard conversations. You want to be able to have an argument. Like whenever people say like couples are like, oh, we never argue, we never fight. It's like that's because you're not communicating. Like couples
Right,
that are always like happy-go-lucky and like never have like any kind of conflict, that's because you're not actually being open, you're not actually being honest because relationships are hard. Nobody is perfect, and at the end of the day, like this person will eventually annoy you and do things that piss you off. And so I think they're both being very surface level, and I was so glad it was called out because like it is truly such an act that he's putting on and it's like pissing me off because it's he's just being very cocky and I don't like it.
no, 100%. And like, it's interesting that even like Devin, for example, the rugby guy, where
Yeah,
he sort of is envious of that couple because they were so touchy and all over each other and seemed to be vibing from the beginning. But like they have the most surface level relationship of the
so
entire group.
surface
And
level.
even though Marissa and Adam are both like, yeah, as long as we keep vibing, we're both going to say yes on decision day. It's just like you guys, you know nothing about each other. This is
Nothing.
ridiculous.
Exactly. And I feel like even with Marissa, like when it came to even like the house of it all, like in her confessional, she was just like, yeah, like that's gonna be a conversation like we will have eventually. But it's just like,
The big conversation.
why aren't you having the conversation now? Like, sorry, sir. Yes, I will move into your shack by the lake. And only for a year, but like just know like this is not sustainable. This is not long term. Like, especially like if you see where she lives in like her beautiful apartment that's all like clean and like pristine, and then this man's like his homeless friend who like stays with it. Like what? Like who are you? Like
Like you may live on the water and have a jet ski, but you live like a bum. Like,
it's very bummy over there, and like it's
yeah.
not cute. It's not sexy, and again, it's like
You're not
I
raising kids with like an axe in the ceiling.
exactly like there's nothing more unattractive in a man than like being like this grown adult. Like he's just very much wants to be this big kid. And it's like, no, like I actually want you to be a little bit serious. Like bring back the Adam that was playing piano at our wedding. Like as
You want to
awkward.
bring that back? Tickle the ivories.
I mean, like, yes and no, but like because he was so intense and so serious at the wedding, it was just kind of like this guy's kind of a tool bag, but like now he's just like leaning into this whole like yeah, like vibe, send it, jet ski, yeah, like my shirt, like walking in with your shirt unbuttoned, like dude. Like we see right through it. Like, oh wow, like I didn't take the tag off the shirt that I bought at the thrift store, and oh my God, it's so hot. I'm like, like ick. I have the ick with this. I already had the
Mhm.
ick, but like the ick has quadrupled, and like I don't know. Maybe the sex is good, but like I don't know. I don't know what Marissa is seeing because if I were in this expedited process, like I would just need more from my partner. And again, like to your point, like it's just been so surface level that like I would actually be shocked if they actually say yes at the altar.
I think they would just because she doesn't seem to be getting it, right? Like, even after that deep conversation that they have with the
Yeah.
experts, where the experts are like, you guys don't have a deep relationship, she still, after all of that, says, I would still say yes if today were decision
See,
day.
but
And it's like, Marissa,
I think she's just saying that because she doesn't want to get into it with him.
maybe.
I think that they're both I think that Adam more so than Marissa is putting on for the cameras, and he probably wants to come off like this like cool, genuine guy. And maybe when it comes down to it, it'll be like, actually, like maybe I don't want to be in a relationship. Like I don't know. That's just like what I'm getting from him. He could
Yeah.
turn out to shock me, but like I wouldn't be surprised if like when it comes to decision day, he says no, maybe she says yes, because like he just wanted to like come off like this cool relaxed, not uptight individual, which we clearly saw in the first few episodes. Like that is who he is.
Yeah. Something that was really telling for me was at the group therapy where Dr. Lisa's like, Marissa, I know more about your relationship with your dad and lack thereof than your own husband. And
Yes.
so she sort of felt like prompted to have that discussion with him right then and there. I just don't feel like he was giving back. Like he was talking about being cheated on a couple of times. He went to therapy.
Right?
He's all good now. And it just didn't really feel like he was being vulnerable. And I don't even know if he's
It
capable of it. He
it,
turns
it was
everything into a joke and
it was
deflects, like
so
Paul said.
it was so awkward because he was just like Marissa's like crying and she's opening up about this thing about her dad. He's just like, yeah, I got cheated on. Like, so like, yeah, we can talk about that later. Like, what?
I don't know, man. He's such a bro, like a douchey
He's
bro.
such a bro, such a bro. Like I hate the way he talks. Like y'all, let's send it. Yeah, like if you say send it one more time, like in vibes, like please. I mean, I say like a lot, but like,
I
oh
was
my
listening to
God,
another podcast. I'm not going to say who's a little bit older than us, not much, just a little bit older than us, and they had to Google what Send It was, and because they didn't understand because he was using it so much. Now, obviously, as Summer House people, we know what Send It is,
no,
but when they had Googled it on this podcast, they determined that this was a Gen Z term, which is obviously not true. Kyle Cook is like the oldest millennial in existence,
exactly.
right? So I guess it's a millennial term, but when you're an older millennial, as am I, it gets a little cringe when you're using those kinds of
Terms like
terms.
send it, like the only older man I will want to hear say send it is Kyle Cook.
Right.
Like he's
He's
coined
forever
it.
young.
Summer should be fun, but like Adam, no, you. I don't want
Yeah.
to send. I need to send you something, some
Jet ski,
maturity.
not fun.
Oh God, the jet ski of it all.
I
Like,
can't.
I mean, jet skiing is fun, but like to make it your entire personality, like that's a choice.
All right, let's move on to this couple that I find really fascinating to dive into. I call her January 6th, Courtney and Nick. Okay, so January 6th and Nick, oh, man, this woman. Okay, I'm
Sorry,
gonna let you finish, but
that was so good. I you didn't have to say your name, and I knew
right?
who it was.
Because whenever I talk about this show and I say Courtney, people are like, who? And I'm like, January 6th. They're like, right, 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 right.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, they are something.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm really trying to analyze this woman from like a psychological perspective, right? And as we go through this, it's clear she is so damaged. It seems like she's had a couple of long-term relationships where she was cheated on, she allowed it
Mhm.
to happen, she was really hurt by it. There's something she talks about. I mean, these are all the things that I've tried to pull out. She talks about how like sex has sort of been numbing to her.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship like this, but I definitely have. Not a relationship, but I've definitely like dated someone where I'm like trying to figure out why I don't like them. And I am
yeah,
trying to figure out, I am creating things that aren't really there. Usually
yeah,
for me, it's because I'm not attracted to you or I already have the ick or something like
yeah.
that. I think she's still trying to figure out what it is. But I do want to say that the experts made a good point because we sort of this whole time have been like, poor Nick, but like, who's Nick? Who's Nick?
Who we don't know who this man is at all. Like, and I get like as much as I like don't want to like January 6th, like I get where she's coming from because we have no idea who this man is. And
Right.
even when it
Which we
came up to
should,
like,
considering he's
which
been on
we
TV before.
exactly,
But we don't.
exactly. And it's like an a kind of like the ick I have with Adam, I have the ick with Nick in the
You
sense of like
do.
Nick is fully self-producing, like fully self-producing. This man is trying to make himself, and I think even the experts called it out. They were like, this is not your first rodeo. Like we know people on reality TV shows like to self-produce so they can come off a certain way. And I think even when they were like, what is something that you're vulnerable about or like people don't know about you? I think he was saying like, oh, like I don't I'm nervous people won't like my goofy self. And it's just like, what? Like,
Hmm.
sir, you've been on 10 million reality shows. Like, if that's the thing you're nervous about, like, one, that's a lie. And two, like, that's just so fake and phony. And so
Yeah.
I totally get how Courtney can be in a situation and be like, who is this man? Do I like him? Like, but like, if I don't like him, what is it about him that I don't like? Because he is fully putting on for the cameras, from my perspective.
Okay, I didn't really think about it like that, but you're probably right. And I think that as much as she's like not ready to be here at all, like this woman needs some
At
intense
all.
therapy, and they shouldn't have allowed her on this. And honestly, anyone who came on the show saying, I'm a slow burn, get the fuck out of here. This is a fast
Baby,
burn
this is
show.
exactly like, bitch, get on the griddle and sizzle up. Like, this is not where we're slow cooking, baby. This is
No.
Instapot, not a crock pot.
So I just don't feel like this was like the right environment for her. But at the same time, if she had the capacity to get there with him, she's not getting there with him because he's not opening up and she doesn't get to know who he is. So I feel like it, not that it's ever one person's fault, but I feel like there is something on both ends, right?
Yeah.
I just thought it was really interesting to hear her family's perspective on her and how they're like, she is very rigid because she is, right? Like,
Very.
even physically, like, she's just so anxious and like calculated. And the way she even talked to the experts a few episodes back about like, should I put my hand on his leg and for how long and whatever. And it's like, have you ever interacted
With a
with another
human?
human?
Like, just do what comes natural, like what
Right.
feels right. Like, and then didn't she even say like she hadn't had fast food for like the first time until like last year? Like, this woman has lived like she's lived a
Who's
very
Keanu Reeves? Who's Keanu Reeves? You haven't lived. What are you talking
yeah.
about? Who's
She
Keanu
hasn't lived at
Reeves?
all, you know. She's too busy watching Fox News. Um, but I also found it very interesting. Like she is trying to self-sabotage like a
Yes.
1000%. Like the fact that even her whole family was just like the fact that she went into the meeting with her family to be like grill him, like find the red flags, like find what is wrong with him, and everyone's just like, I mean, he seemed like a great guy to us, and she's just like, oh, like clearly they're just not spending enough time with him, like they can't see it, and it's just like why don't you just say this to him and just be
Right.
like, hey, I am not getting anything from you. Like, even if we go back to like their honeymoon, like she wasn't getting anything there. And so like and he was all like, oh, like, I think things are great. And it's just like, no, Nick, things aren't great. Like you both are awkward, you both don't feel it. Like, so just be open and honest about it. And like I hated the way he talked about like other couples like in his confessionals being like, oh, like I'd be shocked if they make it. And it's just like, dude, like we're gonna be shocked if you even make it because you're self-producing, you're not actually showing up in this relationship, and like your partner cannot stand you.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to even like him at all because like his political beliefs, but like I feel like he is trying in the way that he thinks is best. I feel like
Yeah.
because she is so erratic and he doesn't know like how to make her happy, he's just standing there in a way,
Yep.
right? Like he's just
Yeah.
kind of waiting for her to move and then he'll move. But I think like the expert session was really helpful for them to be like, here's what you can do. You need to add into this, right?
Yeah.
I think he's just been waiting for her to like, I don't know. At the end of the day, though, I don't think he's a bad guy. Like he may
Not at
be
all.
self-producing, but like I just think we need to to know more about him because, yeah, we
Yeah.
really don't know. It's really interesting in that sense.
Yeah.
But I find it kind of fascinating how none of the men or like all of the men are so into this, like they're ready to jump in, and all of the women are like, I need some time, I need some grace, I need a little bit here. It's just interesting that the men are
Yeah.
just willing to just, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Because they're
attracted to
not.
you, we're married, I'll be with you forever, it's fine.
Exactly. It's because they're not actually like again have
Thinking about it.
and I think the women even brought it up. Like they're like men have a hard time being vulnerable. Like they don't like when they hang out with their bros, they're not sitting there talking about their feelings. So they're the men are just like surface level processing all of this, whereas like the women are the ones that are really kind of like thinking like, okay, like how do I feel? How does this person fit into my life, my future? Like, do they make me feel comfortable? If they don't make me feel comfortable, how can they make me feel comfortable? And so that truly is, I think, how a lot of the men, except maybe Devin,
Yeah, except Devin.
are like actually being honest and expressing their feelings to make sure that they're actually committing to this process. Because my I in any of these reality dating shows, like I hate when people don't commit to the process. Like
Right.
one, you knew what you were signing up for.
Yeah.
You know that there's gonna be a chance where like you're not gonna be attracted to this person right off the bat, but like we're put together for some reason. You know that like you're gonna be in this expedited process. And so even if it's like the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your life for these 6 weeks or however long they film, just commit to the process.
Yeah.
Just try your hardest. Like, even if you're like fighting every day and you're just kind of like, what? Just try. And that's all I ask. Like, anyone on these casts and future shows, just try. And like, not all the men are actually trying. They're just
No.
showing up, being a little puppy dog at the door, waiting for their master to take them out on their walk versus like actually embedding themselves in the process and like
Yeah.
it's they're doing themselves a disservice. It make great make great TV, but like they really are making doing themselves a disservice to even like sign up for this process and not
Yeah.
actually try.
I know. Okay, one last thing I want to say on this couple is though, like, I think Courtney is doing a really good job about being really open about how she feels to everyone
Yeah,
around her. But at the same time, like, I feel for Nick in the sense that she's constantly saying things out loud, like, Adam is the hottest in the group, or when Nick is cuddling me, I like want to die and can't wait till it's 6 a.m. And you can see his face drop every time she says that. Like, it's harsh, but I have to give him props for saying that he doesn't feel that it's rejection because Felipe asked him that. He's like, how does it feel to be rejected by your wife? And he's like, I don't see it that way. She
yeah,
told me she's a slow burn, so it just is. So I kind of wish Devin was a little bit more like that and could just be like,
yeah.
okay,
Yes,
I can wait
because
another 4 days, right? Because I, it's almost like we need to remind ourselves as well as the people in these couples, because I don't know how long it's been, but it's been like 10 fucking days, right?
yes,
Like,
it's been like a week. Who
it's
is like
just calm
wanting to like
down.
lay up and cuddle with someone that they barely I was like I barely know this person and like now we're like living together, you're meeting my family, like we're supposed to like find our intimacy level but not just like surface level intimacy but like real intimacy. Like Jesus, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do
Okay, let's
it.
move on to Cameron and Michelle. And they're a pretty easy couple. It seems
Yeah,
like their only issues are the fact that she had sort of a standard when she spoke to the experts about what she wanted her partner to make, and she wanted her
yeah,
partner to make 150. Now, it's interesting that they ended up matching people who weren't matched financially anyways. But
that was
anyways,
confusing.
yeah. So we don't know how much he makes, but he's like, well, I don't make that. Maybe I will.
Yeah,
And then we see this conversation that they have like later on at home where he feels really emasculated by it. And this is all like our internalized, like, what do you even call it? Like the standards of live or like the way things used to be in the 50s, right? Like men are
exactly.
the breadwinners, women are supposed to whatever. And like I do appreciate that Michelle sort of took down her walls on this a little bit
Yeah.
because she says something to the effect of it wasn't really necessarily the money. It's more in my head of like, if you make this much money, it means you're a harder worker than someone who makes this much money. And then she realized that that's not true. But
Yeah.
also, just talking to other people who live in that area, I'm being told that it is just like a really expensive place to
Oh,
live.
very, very
So you kind of
expensive.
do need to make that kind of money to survive. But at the same time, like, they Like she's like, I could get a remote job and I could move to Portland so I could support your dreams. And he's like, I have more than one dream. And I feel like they're just so like in tune with what each other
Yeah.
needs and are able to accommodate each other, no
Yeah.
problem, you know?
I feel like they've had a lot of very successful conversations. Like, I think at first I was nervous because he had never really been in a long-term
Right.
relationship. So I was like, uh-oh, commitment issues.
Yeah,
But like they truly, I think, have become a front runner couple in my mind from like the first couple of episodes to now of who I actually see like making it because even like they
they
even though they
banged as well.
yes, they did. They finally banged. And so I think that also helped them come together. But I also think that like seeing how fast they were able to kind of like combat that, like her bringing up the money thing obviously made him feel a certain type of way. And then like you saw them on the couch and him being like, it made me, I felt like less of a man. And she was just like, no, like, I understand. I'm so sorry. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. And also, like, you make me feel safe. Like, I know you're a protector and so like that is all I need. And I think just like it just made me feel so like happy because I mean we've seen on these shows in the past where like there has been a one I think the previous season there was a woman who made way more than a man and she let it be known that like that is disgusting to her. This is I have the ick because I make more money than you like and I'm just gonna continue to speak down to you and then like ultimately not be with you. And so I
Hmm.
love that she was able to kind of be like yeah, like, would it be great? Yes, but you know what? Like, I can make enough money to like to actually continue living the life that I want to live with you. And also, like, I don't need you to make that money. I just need you to be a protector and like make me feel safe and make me feel comfortable. And like that outweighs like how much money you make. And I think like a lot of people should think that way.
No, totally. And it just shows how much work that they've done in this short period of time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really impressive. Like I feel like in some ways, some of these people are mature and ready for this process, and in some ways, some people were like haphazardly cast. And well, maybe these two were haphazardly cast because honestly, when I did my first recap of like episodes 1 to 3 and I was going through the matchmaking part, I was like, I don't know why these two were matched. I think maybe I missed that part. It
Yeah.
just
You're like,
happened to have worked out.
it's like, oh, okay. Like they showed up and they figured it out. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay. But again, I'm not a matchmaker, so clearly maybe the casting team they were just like, let's like give some couples a fighting chance and others, let's just let the drama roll.
Well, speaking of which, let's get into Nikki and Sean.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, before we actually get into the drop in terms of these two, just what are your thoughts on them overall? I feel like the show did them dirty.
I think the show did them dirty. It's just like, oh God, where do I start with Sean and Nikki?
It's wherever you want to start.
I mean, I think they both have said it out loud. Like they both have egos. And so
Yes.
like two very strong, independent, financially successful individuals kind of who have never had to kind of like take the back seat could either again be a match made in heaven or like a disaster. And I think we're witnessing the disaster of it all. Um, there's like part of me that wants to root for them, but then like because I there are glimmers of hope, but like I do not see them both saying yes when it comes to decision day. Or is that what they call
Are
it?
we even gonna make it there? Like, I don't think
I
they'll make it there. They can't even get through a conversation. It's
but
wild
do you think they were being fake at the group therapy?
at the group therapy. Um, well, let's take it back a second because I feel like after they had individual therapy, they worked out a little bit better. But let's take it back to maybe sort of the sequence of events because we start with the group dinner. Nikki
Yes,
shows up alone, Sean
yes,
shows up later. We find out that they went on a double date the night before with Mecca
yes. We
and
got to an
Beljalee.
argument.
And this sort of reminded me of Summer House, the season that Kyle and Lindsay were together, where
Yeah.
so many of the fights happened in Ubers and we never got to actually see
See,
it.
see anything? Yes, I hate
We
that.
needed
Like,
to see it
pull
because we
out your
have Mecca
phone.
siding for Sean, but we don't know the whole story, right?
Exactly.
So basically, something about Sean calling her anxious, or she took it that way, and then
Yeah.
that was her reality for the rest of the night, which I'm not doubting. And she's not even denying it. But I will say that he does the same thing. He'll take a word or something and translate it some way and make it a big deal.
All the
You're
time.
right. that they both admit to having egos, and I think that that's like a really big part of this. But Devin, or sorry, like the biggest issue for her is like the respect and
Yeah.
how he gets really agitated and like flips it around. And then she brings up like the airport incident where they get into this fight
Yeah,
and
tough.
she stands up to go to leave the situation. He's like, "Oh, well, now you're towering over me, you're intimidating me." And then she's like, "All five of me." And like the
Oh,
guys take this as a height comment. And I'm curious your thoughts because I didn't take it that way. I think what she was saying is he's sitting down, I'm standing up, and all little five of me is scaring you,
yeah.
towering over you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she meant it that way,
Right.
but I think in this environment, I think because we know that she likes tall men and she was very at the altar when she turned around or vice versa.
Yeah.
Um, I think that like it was just I don't think what she meant was how it came out, but it definitely came out like, oh, like this short man, like and so and you know when it comes to men like in their height, I mean not me, I don't care. Like I love my
I
5.
5'1", so it's
Like,
like everyone is taller than me.
yeah, and so it's just like I think like you know again men like they're very surface level, and so it's like to make a height comment or reference of height like is gonna make a man feel some certain type of way,
Right.
and I think like that's why they all took it that way, and I think some of the women too were kind of like I could see how that could come off a certain way, like again referencing height. But no, I don't think she meant it in a negative way, but like I can see how it did come off in a negative way,
Yeah.
and like have him put his walls up. I do think that he's very calculated. I think that
Yes.
Sean. I almost feel like I'm watching again. He's a professor, right? I almost feel like I'm constantly watching him in real time manipulate conversations and manipulate the narrative to fit this story. And he does not let her get a word in ever. He's always like cutting her off. He's always jumping to like 5 steps ahead in the conversation. And like I can see how that makes her feel because I think that when they had their group therapy, like they were able to actually talk to each other oops, talk to each other and like communicate. You cutting me off and not letting me feel hurt because you feel this way. And then from him being like, well, you don't make me want to feel vulnerable around you. And that's why it's always we're competing in these arguments. And there you can tell they're both trying to win the argument versus just to like hear each other, see each other, make the other person feel comfortable. And so I think that that worked, but I don't know if they're just faking it for the cameras.
Well, I don't want to say faking it. Like, to answer your question, I sort of feel like every time they meet with the experts or every time that they meet in common ground, I feel like they try to start over again in their heads. I feel like they really want this, right? Even
They
when the
do.
group said to them, "Why don't you guys call it?" They both seem to sort of like, "Qu'est-ce que c'est?" Like, "Oh, we would never," right? So, like, I really think that every time they start again from zero and they're like, "Okay, we like each other, let's start again." So, I don't necessarily think they were being performative or doing it for the cameras. I think in that moment, because we're not fighting in this moment, there's a chance. 10
Yes.
minutes from now, they're going to get in a fight, I'm sure. But I feel like every time they're in a good spot for 10 minutes, they feel like hopeful.
Yeah. Which I think is again, I think that's a good way to look at the situation. Like I was saying before, like really committing to the experience. Like they're both like, no, we're not going to give up on this. We're not going to throw in the towel. We're actually going to try to do the work. And then after we've done all the work, we've tried everything. Do we then want to still stay in this commitment together? And so I appreciate and applaud them for applying what the experts have been trying to tell them. And I also really loved them both bringing up the fact of like, yes, we're very successful Black people, you know, in our respective fields, and we've had to navigate life from a certain mindset and we're bringing that mindset into our relationship and we don't need to do that like leave that at the door and regardless of if they stay together I think I'm hopeful that they both are able to like take that into their future relationships or if they stay together that like I don't need to be hard. I don't need to be always be right. I don't always need to have the final word. I don't always need to win the
Yeah.
conversation because I mean, you know, I've experienced that also in my own, you know, professional career of like having to feel like I won and like I'm respected and like I am seen as a certain way when I walk into rooms. Whereas like no, like I'm in the house with my husband. Like I am comfortable. I am safe. I am in the house with my wife. I can have my bad days. I don't have to always be on and right and like have the right thing to say. And so I'm hoping that that is actually marinating and being applied not just in this relationship but life for them, because I
Yeah.
would love to kind of go through life that way going
Yeah.
forward. And so I'm hopeful for them. I really want them to work out. I don't know
Really?
why. I think
You know what? Take this with a grain of salt because it came from House of Stassi, but I've been watching House of Stassi and she made this comment that I think is really right. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I
mm,
think they both need to think about that because their egos are both so huge. Even when they leave the group dinner, Nikki is so upset about the way that she looked in front of their peers, you know?
yeah,
And this is all about appearances. And like, it, you guys got to take that down. You got to take that out of it. You got to take being right out of it, right? And as much as
exactly.
Sean says, like, no problem. As of tomorrow, I don't need to be right. But is that who you are? Like, that might take a little more
Exactly.
work.
It was the way he was saying it. He was just like, okay, like starting tomorrow for the rest of like this experience, like I'm not gonna no, like be like again, he's not being vulnerable and like actually hearing her and vice versa. She cares so much about what people think of her. And again, like I said, like I hope they can like learn they don't have to like present like that. Again,
Yeah.
especially again, I think we brought it up earlier, like, yes, you barely know these people and like, there's cameras around, but like the only people who are ever gonna understand this experience are the people that you're doing this experience with. So like I think these group scenes are to make them feel more comfortable, feel more supportive, but also create an environment where they can be completely open and honest and like get real-time feedback and feedback support, from the people who are also probably again experiencing the same sort of things, or at least can relate to the fact of like, okay, I could see why maybe that was not the right thing to say, or like how they could have felt that way because you said X, Y, and Z because we're in this expedited marriage process. So I'm hopeful for them. And to your point, like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I hope that they lean into the happy because I see kind of some of why the experts put them together. But I also could see them at the end of this being like, let's be friends. You're a great person, but like you're not
I don't
my
even think they could be friends. I think that's the thing. Like, they
really.
don't get along as people. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, they can't, I don't know. I also wonder, like, her capacity to become physically attracted to him, given her disdain for him.
I
Like,
don't think
that'll
I don't
only
think she's
grow
gonna
once you
get
grow
there.
to have feelings for the person. But the only thing that's grown is her disdain.
Yeah, I don't see her in this process time period actually feeling fully attracted to this man. Like, because she
But you could see her
again,
saying yes.
well, because I think even she said that like, like maybe a year, like, but also like
It's a
that's
long time.
that's a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm being very optimistically insane in this moment. Like,
I love it.
I'm rooting for them. I don't think it'll work out, but I want it to work out. I really
Yeah.
want it to work out. I think that's what it is. I really want it to work out. I would not be shocked if it doesn't work out, but like I think they're at least trying. Are they?
Sometimes.
I
I
don't
don't know, man.
know. I don't
It's
know.
such a mess. It's such a
It's
dumpster fire.
it's such a mess. It's they listen. I think they're the messiest of the couples that we are dealing with, at least at this current point in the process. Like,
Yeah.
and I even think that Sean brought it up. Like, oh, like everyone else started off so calm, and now you're getting into like the weeds of it all. We started off completely in the back of the woods, just fighting for our lives, like help someone throw me a life vest.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of coming out of it. So, I mean, who knows? Like we could truly see a complete 180 when it comes to them because they went through so much. And like as with any relationship, you're gonna go through so much. And it's like if we can weather this storm, maybe we can weather more. So I don't know. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for Sean and
I
Nikki.
love your optimism on this. Okay, the couple that I'm really rooting for is Mecca and Beljali. I
Oh,
really,
I
really
love
like
them. I
them.
love them so much. I call them my black autistic nerds. I love them so much.
They're
Mecca
so cute.
he actually found my Instagram and like responded to that comment. He was like, "That's so funny," and I was just like, "I didn't mean it in like a mean way." We're all on the spectrum a little bit, in some way, shape, or form. But I want them to work out. If no one else works out, it is them. But I'm scared for them because I think Mecca is scared to be open and vulnerable.
I think now that they have been intimate, it's like a different level. And I really appreciate him being open about his like fear of like his sexual anxiety or whatever it is
Yes.
that he called it, right? Because initially Belle is taking this like he's not really attracted to me because he sort of said that. And if you're attracted to me, why aren't we doing it? What's going on?
Yeah,
And so she started to pull back, and then he started to notice he had to initiate everything. But he
exactly.
fully admitted, like, it's difficult for him to initiate with a new partner because he doesn't know how it'll go.
Yeah,
And I feel like they kept just sort of navigating those waters. And
yes,
once they talked to the experts, and Dr. Lisa was like, go make out tonight, go do it. You're attracted to each
exactly.
other. They did it, and I feel like they felt a lot better. But what do you think about like people calling them performative in terms of like the dinner when they were saying everything was so great, but then saying they're not really attracted to each other? I feel like they were really offended by that, first of all.
Oh, they were very, very offended, and it's and like I was like, I'm like, are they offended because they feel called out, or are they offended because like maybe they feel like they're not seeing something that other people are seeing? Like that's what I got from Belle Jolie's response to it. Like at least yeah, from my perspective, just visually watching her and seeing her processing this, it felt like she was like, wow, is there something I'm not seeing? Because I thought he was being genuine. I thought he was, just being himself. So like, oh my God, am I missing something? Like, am I have blinders on? And I think he felt called out in a way that was kind of just like, oh, like they're catching on to not catching on to me, but I do kind of get where people were coming from. I don't know if I've used the word performative, but I
Yeah, I
feel
don't like
like
that word.
I don't like that word with them. I personally feel like Mecca is holding back out of fear and out of being rejected and out of like really falling for someone and it not being reciprocated to him. And so I think he is kind of doing that broy, like, oh yeah, she got a fat ass and like she's so hot and like, yeah, yeah. But then you're doing all this. But then when it comes to her having a conversation with you about like your levels of attraction to each other, you're like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure you're more attracted to me than I am to you, which is like, again, like the expert said, what a horrible question to ask. Like, why would you ask that? But also, like, you keep on saying that you like each other, you're attracted to the person, but then you're saying that you're not as attracted to them. Like, it didn't make sense to me, those series of events and like how they were acting as a couple. So I get how people could be like, this feels very performative because you're saying all these things, but your actions are a complete opposite, and you're doing the buzzwords and you're like showing up being all like, yeah, 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 but then you're like, oh, but I'm not attracted to her.
Hmm.
I'm confused. So that just confused me as a viewer.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on all of that?
I because I root for them so hard, I'm like trying to be so positive in it.
Yeah,
And I keep almost getting offended on their behalf. Like, even
yeah,
in the group therapy, where Paul says that Mecca hasn't chosen Belle, like, I felt, I just, not, maybe offended isn't the right word, but like, I felt defensive for him. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I feel defensive for this relationship because I feel like at its core, they want the same thing. I just feel like he's struggling with his anxiety and she's struggling to navigate that. But I don't know. I just feel really positive about them. I feel like they're both really sensitive individuals, and I
yes.
feel like they'll get there. And I know this is a weird thing to say, but I think the fact that people came at them actually pushed them towards each other and
No
made them
more.
like bond a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. And so I didn't like that comment when Paul made about like he didn't choose her, and I'm just like, what do you
Stop
mean?
making him
Like,
feel like he's doing all this stuff wrong. Like, I don't really think
yeah,
he
like
is. They
that.
just did it. They had sex. Good for them.
Exactly.
That's a
Like they
huge
literally
step.
just had sex. Like let them marinate in not marinate. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but no,
Dead.
not mar. I was like, what marinate stew? Like no. I mean, I think I'm clearly hungry. Um, but I let them kind of like process all of that and like see where they move forward and then maybe call them out on like the like not choosing. I did not like that. I too was kind of personally offended by that because I was just like, oh, but again, like to the performative of it all, like I don't think they're performative. I just think they're scared and like of rejection on both sides. And so
Right.
they're not putting in as much as they could. I think they're doing a great job, but I think even when like, Bella Jolie was just like, yeah, like you can make a move, like go for it. Like, how about you make the move? Like if you
Well, on her in her defense, like when he was like, "I'm not as attracted to you," that's when she fully said to the camera, "I'm gonna pull back. I'll let him come to me."
True,
I get that.
true. I mean, hearing that must have been so odd. I felt uncomfortable hearing that. Again, what a stupid question to ask, and like what a stupid question to answer, and like what a like I would have been like, no, I like no, like don't actually give like numbers. Like, oh
Like,
yeah,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
talking.
try to make out with someone who says that I'm more attracted to them than they are to me. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
like
be like, "Well, come here then," you
he's
know?
like, ooh, yeah, let me lay it on ya. Let me get that
Yeah,
number to
I would
go
sit
up.
back and
Like.
wait.
Exactly. This is not a performance review at work. Like, I'm not trying to get
Hate
like
those.
any expectations. Um,
Exceeds expectations.
triggered. But it's just like, no, I get why she would have pushed back, but it's just like I want them to really push each other on both sides. Like
Yeah,
I want her to challenge him. I want him to challenge her because I think they have kind of up there with like the Cameron and Michelle's like a couple that I'm rooting for. I can fully see, making it at the end. I mean, they both said undecided at the group therapy. And so like that was kind of like okay, all right, like what more do you need to know or understand about each other to get you to that yes? Because I
yeah.
think I think all the viewers we're rooting for them. We want them to both say yes. I think they're a perfect match in terms of just like personality, style. Like they look so good together. They
The
have this
vibe, and
sense
I
of
hate to say vibe,
humor.
but the vibe, you know?
Yeah, send it.
But like the
The vibe is
mannerisms, like
so
they they
good.
they get each other.
They complement each other so well. Like they
Yes.
truly like even like watching them before they even got married and like walked down the aisle was like, oh my God, like this is a match made in heaven and just how they've even interacted with each other.
Yeah.
Rooting for them. Really, and I love when he like took her to work and like, no, for me, like I don't want to go clean a porta potty, but like what a cute way to like just see his world and get to know
Right.
how your other partner like lives and provides. And so, again, rooting for them, but like I want them to really like push each other and break down those walls, have more of those hard conversations, but like truly just like get super, super comfortable with each other. Because I
Absolutely.
think I think they both want to choose each other. And I think they are scared that the other person won't.
Yes.
And I want them to be able to like keep reassuring each other that like,
Yeah.
no, you're my person.
That's
And I
exactly
think
what they need.
I think that is gonna really get them to that next hump. Um and hump more.
Totally agree. Okay, let's do our last couple because we got 10 minutes. I got to get you out of here because so you can get to your day. I have a lot to say about this couple. We're going to talk about Devin and Caitlin.
Ooh.
And I just want to let you know from the
I'm
outset, I
like
am
literally
going to
looking at a
ride here for my girl Caitlin, okay?
I am listen, women are always right in my book. So
Okay.
woo, talk about stage five clinger.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
is
And for you to
intense.
sit there and be like, I thought I was going to love bomb her and she was going to love it. And it's like, is that supposed to be a positive thing? You know
Like,
what I
is
mean?
that supposed to like turn me on? Like,
Yeah.
ew. And it's just like, sorry, Devin, you actually have to like try. Like, I know you're used to like women like fawning over you and like throwing their panties on the rugby field, but no, sir, you actually have to like put some effort into
Yeah.
a relationship to make it work.
Again, I will say slow burns don't come on this show. So she probably shouldn't come on this show. But that being said, it has been 5 minutes. I think she is trying. I don't really understand why everyone is saying she's giving him nothing. Even at the end with the experts, like where they're like, I understand where they were like, he shouldn't have to dim his light. Like he shouldn't have to dim who he is as a person. But they're putting all that blame on her. And I
Her.
think she doesn't know how to handle it. So she keeps kind of reverting to, she's not explaining it well, but what she's trying to say is, I used to be worse. I have done so much work. You guys haven't seen that growth. So even though you think I'm not giving eye contact and you think I'm not hugging him enough, this is 10 times more than I used to do. And so in
Exactly.
her mind, she's like, I am doing the most that I am capable of
Yeah.
doing. But also, what do you want her to do? Be licking his face while we're eating? Like, what do
I
you want
guess
her to be
so.
doing?
And like I feel for her, like especially when she was expressing like with to her friends and stuff and being like, I have come so and like to be in that position where you're being basically accused of your old self when you've done so much work to get to this better place to be a better person. Like I just know that it's eating her up inside and it is pushing her even further back because it's just like you don't know what I took to get here because it was like to your point like I was 10 times worse than what I am now and that's not good enough for you like all right well fuck you like pardon my language like I'm not going to like bend over backwards for you because you're not appreciating what I'm bringing to the table. And like, as someone who is in a independent relationship myself, like, between like going on group trips, like I've gone on trips and people have been like, "Oh, where's your fiance?" And I'm like, "He's at home." They're like, "He didn't come with you?" Like, no, like
I do that too.
we
Well,
like
I'm not dating
live
anyone, but I used to, you know?
like we live it's okay to be in a relationship and like have independence. Like the
Right.
fact that she
He
even
should learn to, I don't think we should be trying to find him a partner that fits that mold because he should work on that. That's unhealthy.
exactly, like to constantly be on top of each other, doing everything together. Like, please, like, do not smother me like with your highlights. Like,
The friends calling that out was so funny. They're like, we hate his hair.
I mean, I think we all hate his hair, but it's just like, and I feel like even he'll. I feel like I saw a glimpse of him trying, but he always just goes back to like putting the blame on her and not
Hmm.
trying hard enough and how I also have to remind myself that he's only 26 and
Yeah, they're all too young for this. Well, the
he's only
20 somethings are.
he's only 26 so he needs to grow up and learn a bit more about like life and like relationships and like hopefully he grows out of this like need to like have to constantly be around someone but like have some compromise. Like, have some compromise. Because even when he got mad at her for going to the gym, granted, she should have just said, I want to go to the gym by myself, but like, let
But
her
this is
have
also
some.
so trivial. I'm sorry.
It is. It's so tiny. And like, you went to the gym without me. And it's like, dude, like, we just met. We've spent the last like 72 hours together. Me going to the gym by myself should not be like your biggest of concerns. Like again, yes, you want to be a part of this experience. You want to really dive in. You want to get to know each other. But like find those moments. Like if you really want to spend quality time with each other, like okay, come to one of my spin classes maybe once a week.
I loved that he came to one of her spin classes,
Yeah,
though,
that
that he
was
went into her
so
world and he seemed to be enjoying it. And that looked
yeah,
really
like
cute. I
I
loved that.
really, really enjoyed that. But it's just like maybe we have dinner together like 3 times a week, like at home, or maybe we watch a movie. Like I think there's a world where he could learn to still have those moments, but like it's not 24/7. And also like
Right.
I feel like he's not even like asking her like what does intimacy look like for you? Not just sexual, but just like what does that
Right. It's been
intimate
all about what he needs.
exactly? And it's just like what do you need? Like, and I mean there's times where like I am just okay being at home, knowing that my partner is in the other room. I'm playing video games, he's reading a book, but like knowing that we're in the same house together, I'll just go every once in a while, give him a kiss and be like, but like you don't have to be on top of each other 24/7 to be intimate, to have that connection, to be spending time with each other. And so that is the one thing that I want for him to do is to say, like, to ask
Yeah.
her versus demand her. He's demanding things of her versus asking her what that looks like. And I think he's just pushing her further, further away. Um, and I feel for her because, like, again, to like be able to like say to yourself, I've come such a long way, and like to not even have that recognized, that's really, really sad.
And that went even further, like with Paul, because you make such a good point where, like, Devin hasn't really asked her what she needs. So she tries to express that at the group therapy. She's like, I need someone who can ground me. And Paul's like, that's something you need to do for yourself. And I'm like, Jesus, like, is it? Like, I know that if I were to have a partner, like, I'm a very high anxiety person. So I know if I were to have a partner, I would need someone who could be calm and sort of ground me, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I were to date someone who was just as high anxiety as me, it would be like, awful. Like if I would
Spiral
go to my partner
Central.
and say like, I'm gonna get fired tomorrow, and they're like, oh my God, you probably are. No, I need the kind of person that's gonna be like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, why are they so harsh on her?
Yeah, and again, and like I wonder if like any of the couples have like or individuals have like kind of like like kind of thrown it back to the experts to be
They're
like
probably
actually
scared.
no, probably like actually it's like actually no, I don't think that's good advice. Like I think I should want someone who's going to ground me and like keep me level-headed and not have me spiral because that's only just going to make me like not feel safe, not feel comfortable, and also probably like step back in this relationship, especially
Hmm.
from someone who has so much independence and likes to be independent, to then have to be in a situation where they're like, no, like you need to try a little bit more. And it's kind of just like, excuse me? Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. So, I mean,
I
do you,
sorry,
I'm
what were you
sorry,
gonna say?
you keep going.
Well, I was just gonna say that at the end of the day, though, I don't think that this was a good match because when he was talking initially to the experts, it really sounded like he wanted somebody who was gonna fit into his life. I want
Yeah,
somebody who's gonna be at the end of the rugby field, holding our kid, waiting to hug me, right? And she's a very independent person who cares about work. I think he needed somebody who was just gonna be the kind of girl that could make her entire life about her man. There are many
exactly.
girls like that, but that's not who they picked
Exactly.
for him.
Exactly. I feel like they, need, they needed someone who didn't have a lot going on.
Right. Yeah.
They needed
A
someone who
shy
was just like,
wife.
yes, yes. Basically, someone who was just like, yeah, like, I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to have all these kids. I'm ready to submit. I'm ready to be home and like cook for him every day. And like, I think that's what he wants. Not
Right.
think, I know that's what he wants. He wants
Yeah,
that person that's going to be sitting there with the meal and an apron, ready to be like, how was your day, honey? Like, let me pour you like your beer for you.
exactly.
And like, oh, like I made us matching shirts to wear to your game, and like, oh, here's your little snack box, like to go to your game. Like I'm already chatting with the other rugby wives about like I think he really wanted someone like that was just going to fully immerse because again I think
A
I
wag.
mean
He wants a wag.
exactly. I mean, like, I don't follow rugby. I don't know if they have like stands or fans. So like again, but like to his point of him never having to actually try and people just like throwing themselves at him, like I think he just assumed like, wow, I'm gonna meet someone who's gonna think I'm a hot rugby player and she's just gonna do everything for me. And maybe the experts put them together because they wanted them both to learn how to meet in the middle, like someone who's fully independent, someone who fully is a stage five needy clinger, but like meet in the middle of like the opposites attract type situation. So maybe that's why they were put together.
Maybe. It just, ugh.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just like her a lot. I think she's done a lot. I think she's trying hard. I feel like she's complimenting him, giving him the nose scrunches, putting the sunscreen on his back, doing all the things. I can't imagine having someone tell me that I'm dimming their light and that
Yeah.
their cup isn't full because I'm still not doing enough. I would feel empty. I would feel sad.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of rooting for them because they're cute, but at the same time, they seem to be almost in the same way that Nikki and Sean are. They're sort of bringing out the worst in each other
Yeah,
in a
they are
way.
bringing out the worst. And I felt
Yeah,
so bad for her when she like was crying like on their honeymoon because you can tell she's probably been in a relationship in the past
exactly.
where this was like the same thing being said to her of just like you don't try, you don't give me anything, and it's just like I'm just independent. And
An
I don't
independent woman.
exactly, and I don't think we should be putting a woman down for being independent, for wanting to live her own life, for not wanting to just like kiss the floor that a man walks on. Like it's
Caitlyn for
so
the
like
next Bachelorette.
exactly yes, yes. I think she'd be great at The Bachelor, but
Sure.
I hate it so much for her, and I just like just watch literally my fiance and I were just like, oh, this guy is so and the fact that the hair is so ugly too, like it just like it makes it even worse because it's just like your hair is ugly and you're demanding like go get these highlights taken out and then maybe we can have a conversation about like
Yes.
how I'm gonna show up in this relationship.
We
But
can't have it both ways.
but it really I really feel for her because it's just like oh like this man is bringing back so much of her like past trauma of relationships and like
Exactly.
not like they're enough and like being put down for just do it like no this woman is lives a full life. You need to figure out how to fit into her life versus it being vice versa because clearly you don't have a life like
Exactly.
And maybe it's because he's not playing. Is he? Are they like not in like residency season right
Right.
now?
Because I remember him saying like his day to day was going to be like meal prepping and going to the gym. So,
Like, woo,
yeah. So
wow,
he doesn't have much
woo.
going on.
He does not have much going on for him. So maybe that is where a lot of it is coming from, and maybe it'd be different if he was actually like in a full-on season. But I still feel like even then he would then also want her to be even more like,
Right.
okay, well now you're doing my meal prep. Like you're, like I said, you're gonna have my food ready for me when I get home. You're gonna be doing my highlights for me. Like, like, yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Rupert Thee Baxter, thank you so much for being here today. This was so amazing. I always love talking to you. Please tell the
Yeah.
people where they can follow you and watch you and see all the stuff you have going on.
All right, you can find me on the Instagram and threads at Rupert the Baxter, like Megan the Stallion, but Baxter.
Okay.
And I'm also on TikTok at Rupert_Baxter. So I'm just, yapping about lots of things. Life, reality TV, movies, sometimes bagged lettuce.
Thank you so much, Rupert.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and threads at the Bravo Investigator. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and join the Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review.